The Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine continues. In round 3 of the season, it is time for the second race of the weekend here on this Sunday. We've had the rain falling. It has gone away for the moment. We still have a green circuit, and we still have a certain Freddie Slater starting in third with a Van Amersfoort front row. Well, hello everyone, it is great to have your company as we continue with FRECA. Looking forward to this one, and it's really been a good weekend so far in terms of only having FRECA to worry about for me and Wes, the next time we return in this championship, it's going to be FRECA and GB3 on at the same time along with an F1 weekend. So, we're going to enjoy it while it lasts. In the commentary box, my name is Amy, delighted to be with you. And alongside me for this one is Wes, who has woken up for this one very, very early indeed to be able to join us. So, hi Wes.
Good morning, Omi. Hello, everybody. We're going to get ready for another exciting FRECA race at Zandvoort with a grid that looks remarkably similar, I must say, to yesterday. The only outlier, I think, being Hayu Yamakoshi being all the way up in second position after leading his group in what was a much wetter qualifying than the previous day. Freddie Slater, as you said, starting third position once again, same as yesterday. So if he can repeat that epic start he had, then he will most likely be leading into that first corner. As we get ready, the mechanics have now left the grid, and we're going to get ready for the start of the formation lap.
Yeah, we are going to get ready for the start of the formation lap indeed. If anyone's wondering in terms of our live timings, we expect them to fix themselves once we do get going for the actual race. Yesterday what happened was I set it up a certain way, and then they glitched themselves once the race got going. So we've got them the exact same way like they were at the end of yesterday's broadcast, which was they're all fitted in perfectly. They're all glitched right now, but hopefully it will fix itself in a second. We'll keep an eye on that one as the drivers set off then onto their formation lap. Whereas we were discussing yesterday about Van Amersfoort, they are chasing a historic victory. They couldn't get it yesterday, but with a 1-2 today, they have an increased chance of doing so, trying to win for the first time since this race in 2023, which Cass Havercourt was the winner that day. Okay, let's run you through our starting grid then for this contest that is coming up right now. Pedro Claro is ahead of Hayu Yamakoshi. Freddie Slater starts in third position. He's alongside Enzo Deligny, who is in P4. Jin Nakamura has fifth, and Asuke Bora shares the third row of the grid with him. Then it's Evan Gilter in seventh. Matteo Di Paolo, our championship leader, all the way down in eighth position. Definitely not what he wanted. Dion Gauda is in ninth. He's alongside Kanato Lee. And then it's Taito Kato, who's in 11th. Rashid Al-Taheri finds himself in 12th position. Nikita Bedrin is in 13th. And then it's Jack Beaton, who is in 14th position. Ricky Lee is in 15th. And then it's Nantaro Bimbakti on a trident row of the grid. Rui Hengye is in 17th. And then it's Enzo Peugeot. Once again, a slightly disappointing qualifying for him. Tim Gayhard is alongside Dorian Pant, still not being able to find the limits within that Prema car at the moment. Giovanni Maschio is in 21st, and Giovanni Maschio will be looking to try and be a contender in this session, and he finds himself alongside Michael Belov, who was trying to make some overtakes when it came to the racing yesterday. Then it's Yaroslav Asialo alongside Saka Al-Masheri, who was off the road a couple of times, and then it's Aditi Kulkarni in 25th, and then we have Bournier, who's in 26th position on the grid. And that is our grid here in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine for what should be a really, really interesting race. Yesterday, where's Pedro Claro found himself off the road into the gravel trap on the exit of turn 1. He was able to still maintain second place somehow after that one, but it means that he'll be trying to avoid that today, but he has his teammate alongside this time around.
Yeah, that's right. I was tried to go toe to toe with Slater into turns 2 and 3. Wasn't quite able to do it, and Slater had a nose in front, and he was forced to dip a couple of wheels onto the gravel trap there. So hopefully he's learned from that. I don't really expect Yamakoshi to be in any mood to help him out going through there, but you know, regardless, Yamakoshi is a a tough customer himself, so he'll want to be going into the first corner first as well. Just to fill everybody in on the championship situation there, Freddie Slater's gap in the championship, he was 23 points behind the lead going into this race. With that win yesterday and none of his championship rivals making it to the podium, that he's slashed that gap now to just 8 points to DePaulo, Slater in second. So yeah, another successful race here could see him taking the lead of the championship quite easily.
That's exactly what he'll hope for. Here we go then. Cars getting into position. The yellow flag's momentarily waving. I think we've got a car that has an issue on the grid. Will that require an extra formation lap, I wonder? As we see, I think that's Jin Nakamura momentarily. So yes, aborted start. There we go. There's the confirmation. We've got an aborted start. I think that's Jin Nakamura who has got an issue. And I think he's already managed to stall the car. He's alerted the marshals. And we will not be getting going this time around, Wes.
Oh, that's such a shame. Yeah, extra formation lap. It's really is the safest thing to do. They'll push Jin Nakamura's car into.
Oh, it's not Jin Nakamura.
And, oh, is it not? Oh, excuse me. Yeah, who is it? Gilter? It might be. Who is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is Gilter. Yes, Evan Gilter, who is amongst that gaggle of cars right at the top of the championship, has ruined his race already. Of course, it might not be his fault. It could be a car issue, but yeah, at best. Oh, and he's got the car going again now, but he's fallen right to the back. And he won't be allowed. Well, no, he's gonna try and retake his spot on the grid. I'm not sure what the stewards will have to say about that, but yeah, Gilter's going to be determined to make the most out of this race if he can, but I expect a penalty will be coming his way for that.
Yeah, usually when it especially comes to Formula 1's rules and all of those on that weekend, you cannot do it. You cannot retake your position if the last car is passed, so that's quite interesting. Yeah, apologies for that one. It wasn't Jin Nakamura. The marshal was kind of standing in the middle, I noticed. So it looked more towards Jin Nakamura's car from the angle that we got momentarily. But it was Evan Gilter who was the car who got in trouble. So apologies for that one, but the cars are continuing to navigate their way through around this circuit at the moment. And we see Gilter retaking his positions, getting very close and trying to do it in the best and safest possible way is the number 95 ART Grand Prix car. But we're going to get back into position and we'll go once again, Wes. It's going to be a very, very interesting race. And it's going to be a race that will be reduced now to 28 minutes due to this extra formation lap that we're having to have.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to be a bit of a distraction for the drivers, having something different happen in this race. So they'll need to refocus themselves. Not to mention the fact that they now have to avoid Evan Gilter, who's trying to find his spot again. How on earth he knows how many cars to overtake in order to retake that is beyond me.
There we go.
Oh, and the race control have now said that Gilter has to start from the pit lane, which is, understandable. But yeah, that's a blow for him, definitely.
It is a blow. It's not what he wanted at all. He did all of the effort to get back up there, but he's going to have to start in the pit lane. That is the fair thing, of course. All the cars passed him. He had to leave the line and be ahead of the final car on the grid. He wasn't able to. He's regained the positions, but he'll have to go from the pit lane, and luckily he will be able to avoid a penalty with that. Okay, we're lining up on the grid once again. It's a Van Ames for all front row in their home race, as we mentioned. Freddie Slater starts in third position once again, and it's Ender Deligny who's the driver in fourth. Evan Gilter comes down the pit lane, and he will get himself ready to try and make a bit of a recovery drive. There is a high chance of safety cars as per normal, so he'll try and become a contender with those as he finds himself making his way to the end of the pit lane. But on the grid though, we are about to get the green flag being waved at the back and 5 shining red lights coming our way, which will signal the start of the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights on. 5 lights off, and we go racing to Tarzan corner. A slow start and contact immediately between Deligny and Slater as Yamakoshi got a slow start off the line. It is going to be Claro who is going to maintain the lead through turn number 1. It's going to be Yamakoshi still in second position, Slater in third, who really nearly lost a car and had another retirement this season. Can they all make their way through the opening few corners? Slater having a look down the inside. He won't be able to get there, and Yamakoshi is still going to maintain second place. Claro in the lead. Van Amersfoort 1 and 2 still as they make their way through the opening sector.
Oh, and Deligny now having a look right by Freddie Slater going through that sequence of corners, not quite able to make it, but it was an aggressive start from Yamakoshi, as I expected it would be. Those two have been rivals ever since Italian F4, and yeah, that really helped Claro to protect the lead off the line. He got a decent start, and is now in the prime seats in order to convert this pole into a win.
Yeah, big moment in the race though. That was so tight. I thought Slater was going to go round, and there was going to be major contact down the straight. Rashid Al-Daheri under some pressure. Nikita Bedrin, who had an issue yesterday getting past one car, thinking about another one, and he was trying to get past Taito Kato, wasn't able to do it there, and they're all trying to generate the tyre temperature. We mentioned how it is a green circuit, so that is the goal ahead of the drivers right now. Much more aggressive start compared to yesterday in the mid-pack as we come out of the banked corner and make our way down the start-finish straight. Yamakoshi is still close to his teammate Claro. It is 0.4 of a second across the line. It's going to get really tight further back. Dion Gauda is surely going to be under pressure, and that's going to be Konato Lee trying to send it around the outside of Tarzan corner. Cannot do it. Al-Daheri was involved in a battle. I think that was Peugeot who was trying to make the move there, and Bedouin just staying ahead of Al-Daheri as well. So very tight in the battle right now for 11th position as we go back to the start.
Yeah, that's right. It was a good start from everybody at the front, and Slater trying to pull the same trick as yesterday, and the Van Amersfoorts were just having none of it. And Slater having to look behind him as much as he was in front, because Enzo Deligny, as we know, very, very aggressive off the start. Deligny going high, trying to get a slingshot, and he was very, very much beside Slater as one of the RPM drivers goes off briefly. But yeah, that slingshot that Deligny got through Ugenholt's corner was absolutely brilliant, well and truly alongside Slater as they went through the next complex of corners, but just wasn't quite able to pull it off.
Yeah, we're just taking a look at some replays. It is so tight. The start incident has been noted as well, with the number 23 coming into play of Enzo Deligny and of course Freddie Slater. So that's what's happening with that, but it's going to be a battle down towards Tarzan between first and second place. Yamakoshi has not let Claro run away, and it is close between our top two. And off the road, and that's going to be one of the Santalot cars, and we're going to see Tim Gayhardt go off, and that'll be disappointment. What is going on with Santalot racing cars this weekend? That part of the circuit, that's another one. Bedrin stopped twice there yesterday, and now we've seen Tim Gayhardt, and he is going to find himself out of the race.
Yeah, such a great shame. There's, as you said, there's been quite a few car failures this weekend. As Slater's looking on the outside of Yamakoshi, Yamakoshi not going to have any of it as the safety car comes out to protect Yamakoshi's second place anyway. So, yeah, but yeah, as you said, not quite sure what the problem with reliability is for, especially for Santalot this weekend. Hopefully they can get that fixed for the next event at Hungary.
It's like it all turns off at a certain part of the circuit. It's always down that back straight. I mean, we were emphasizing so much yesterday how Bedrin stopped in the same place that he did in qualifying. In qualifying in the race, he stopped in the same place. While it's not exactly the same place, it's the runoff that Tim Gayhardt has found. So he was able to get it to the runoff rather than Bedrin, who parked it on the circuit. But yes, really disappointing with Santalot. Absolutely wild stuff. So, we are behind the safety car, then Bora gained a position at the start, Di Paolo gained 2, that's very vital for him. Nakamura went down 2 as well. Dorian Pan further back lost a position. Not a lot of drivers losing positions, a few drivers gaining some. We had loads of drivers who maintained places as well. So dramatic stuff. It was lots of battling absolutely everywhere we look. Okay, let's take a look at a replay. So it may not be reliability. Let's take a look. So that's Tim Gayhard, who was making contact with one of the Prema cars there.
Yeah, that's right. Not quite sure who that was. Was it? Oh, it could well have been Dorian Pan, actually. See, it's unusual seeing a Prema that far down the grid, but yeah, Dorian Pan has lost a place, like you said, and I'm pretty sure that was her who made contact with Tim Gerhard. So possible suspension problems there for the German driver, Dutch driver, I should say.
Not what he wants in his home race, is it? As they make their way through behind the safety car then. Okay, I think it's important to review what we've had so far. Calero, Yamakoshi still 1 and 2. Freddie Slater, though, found himself on the back of Yamakoshi. So did Deligny off the start. So Deligny and Slater both went attacking. It was a slow start off the line for Yamakoshi. And what happened off the line was there was contact momentarily made because you had 3 cars all going for one little gap. They all survived. Slater very nearly had losing the car, and what disappointment that would have been to see a 3rd retirement for the season. It usually goes it usually only goes one way for Slater. Either it's brilliant or it's finding himself out of the race so far this season. So today he'll go for the win once again. And I think the impressive thing once again we're seeing from Slater is, while he may not have been able to do it at the start, he is definitely looking like that he's going to go and attack the Van Amersfoort once we deal with this safety car restart. So keep an eye on Slater. He'll be the one to watch, and he'll try and attack both Van Amersfoort, but also keep an eye on Yamakoshi, as we mentioned. He will absolutely go for his teammate down towards Tarzan. So it's going to be a fun fight in the battle for the win today.
Yeah, Yamakoshi's very fun to see in moments like this. He's a very aggressive driver, as we've mentioned before. Slater's going to be desperate to try to take the lead of the championship with De Paulo so far down the order at the moment. Of particular interest as well will be to see Evan Gilter try and fight his way through the field with this safety car, of course. He closed right up to the back of the pack. So, yeah, and I think, is the safety car coming in this lap? I believe it is, yes. So, over to you, Omi.
It is coming in at the end of this lap, and it's over to Pedro Calero to put his foot down and to take FRECA back to green flags. Deligny looked like he got a good start up against Freddie Slater, and the slipstreaming will begin towards Tarzan corner. Who can pull out and make some moves? Deligny's thinking about it. Can he go round the outside? He comes over to give a bit of a chop to Slater. He's trying to turn all the way around the outside to the position ahead of the Prema driver. Slater's going to hang on for the moment. Deligny could not get by, and then it's going to be Bora as they all make their way through. That is going to be super tight stuff. Bedrin trying to defend. That is for 11th and 10th position at this stage. They all try get on the power. It is getting super tight. Al-Daheri trying to make some progress, but our top 3 as we won wheel to wheel, and into the pit lane we come, and that is going to be into the pit lane for the number 28 Prema, and that is Dorian Pan.
Yeah, that's right. That's most likely due to the contact she had with Tim Gerhard. So, new nose cone there for the French racer, and she's back out onto the track. It's a shame she couldn't have done that before the safety car came in, though.
Al-Daheri thinking about a move on Kanato Lee. Kanato Lee just has the answer to that question at the moment. So, Calero and Yamakoshi still together. It wasn't the best launch for Slater. The Van Amersfoort were able to catch their rivals out. Deligny having to defend from Jin Nakamura at the moment, who's trying to make the move. Further back, Nikita Bedrin looking to see what he can do up against Taito Kato. That's the battle for 9th. So Bedrin, like he was yesterday, going on the attack when his car is allowing him to do so, as we make our way out of the final corner and down the start finish straight to see who can make an overtake. Of course, you're getting the slingshot, you're getting the slipstream all the way once you get off the final braking zone. All the way down the start finish straight. It's close. It's as close as it's been between the Van Amersfoort. It's getting really tight further back as well, and that's going to be a big lockup as we see Di Paolo trying to hang on up against Gouda at the moment, and you also find yourself with Di Paolo in there. So an interesting moment down towards Tarzan as we take a look at a replay.
Oh, and is this going to be why? Oh, and that's Dorian Pan getting problems for the second time in this race, so that's why she needed a nose cone. So it wasn't to do with her contact with Tim Gerhardt. It was somebody else.
Yeah, so it was contact on the restart, and it means that the driver, of course, doing a dual campaign with F1 Academy this season, finds herself into the pit lane. 18 minutes still to go in this race as we make our way down the back straight now. And I'm looking forward to seeing this battle properly resume. We got the safety car out right before we were about to see Slater go on the attack. So I'm looking forward now to see what this is going to have for us as the drivers make their way through. We have Yeyu losing a position further back. So that's a little move that has happened as we make our way out of the final corner and down towards the first turn. Once again, Deligny and Nakamura were very tight as well on the previous lap. So I'm interested to see whether it will be the same case once again as over the line we go.
Yeah, that's right. Things starting to space out just a little bit. Claro is trying his best to control this race, as Slater did yesterday, but Yamakoshi's very much keeping him immediately in front of him. Slater, I think there was a bit of a gap that formed between the Van Amersfoort and the Prema driver. It looked like Slater was just trying to protect his tires briefly, but he's now got back on the back of Yamakoshi, and he isn't so much under pressure from Deligny anymore. So yeah, we'll see what happens in the next couple of laps. Could be very explosive.
My word, the traction that Freddie Slater gets out of that banked corner of turn 3 is absolutely extraordinary, and that is why he gets so close to Yamakoshi. He is absolutely getting on the power. Then of course the slipstream, the overspeed belongs to him all the way down to the braking zone. It is a risky part of the circuit, but Slater really is getting to a point where I would not be surprised if soon we do see a move pulled by him, or an attempted move at least, once again at that part of the circuit. He'll hope to make it down the start-finish straight though. That is where it is easiest to do so. Deligny now finds himself coming back in. Slater following very closely to the back of Yamakoshi. And now Claro is going to once again be looking in the mirrors. He just needs to maintain a decent enough gap, and that's exactly what he has this time around as well. As we come over the line then, and let's see, it is going to be 4.5 tenths of a second. So he's doing enough, he's doing exactly what he needs to, is Pedro Claro at the moment, to defend this position, and he'll be hoping that this continues for longer and longer, just so he is able to maintain the positions ahead of Slater, because he knows that will be the real big threat in terms of pace.
Yeah, that's right. 15.5 minutes plus 1 lap still to go in this race. Still gaps forming between the different cars. There's no DRS, of course, in this championship, but they do have their push-to-pass systems. They get 6 of them per race. I expect a few of them have been used already. Claro still leads from Yamakoshi, Slater, and then it's the 3 RSGP cars of Deligny, Nakamura, Bora. De Paolo now down to 7th. I don't expect him to maintain the lead of the championship after the end of this race, with there only being 8 points between him and Slater in the championship. So Slater could be getting the lead of the championship regardless of whether he wins today or not, as things stand.
Yeah, I think there's a huge chance of that happening today by the end of this race, as we make our way and rotate our way down through the final few corners. Once more, Deligny really starting to turn it up a little bit as well, as they all try and preserve these tyres to some degree as well. We of course had a few laps behind the safety car. Deligny having a little dart that is just to look large in the mirrors at the moment, as we're wheel to wheel down into turn number 1. That's going to be Canatoli versus Enzo Peugeot. Not the only battle going on. We have Jack Beaton having to back out of it further back. Enzo Peugeot just ahead of Canatoli, so that's a move that he was able to complete.
Yeah, that was a very, very good move. Classic move into Tarzan there. That's what they all hope to do, but it doesn't always work out that way due to the left-right nature of this track. You could be on the inside one corner, and then if the defending car doesn't yield, then he'll most likely have the inside line for the next corner.
That's usually the way, and that's usually the case. It works here in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine, as we continue rotating the cars through this circuit, we're taking a look at the battle for 11th position still between Peugeot and Lee that goes on. There's a battle further up as well. We've got Dion Gauda trying his absolute best to defend at the moment up against Taito Kato, who will be giving it his all and who will be trying to go on the attack, while Gauda will look and see whether there's any opportunities up against Di Paolo. We have 12 minutes and 55 seconds to go on the clock, plus 1 lap, of course. Clara, we're going to look at the gap this time around to see how close it is between the Van Amersfoorts, or has Clara been able to preserve it this time around? We get the gap across the line, it's 7:10, so it's still in close range. Everyone just in formation. I wonder when will be the moment that some drivers do attempt to use their push to pass and do attempt to try and make some progress. Let's take a look at a replay, and this is going to be Evan Giltaire diving up the inside, and that is going to be a tidy move that he is going to complete, as he was able to find his way by on Kulkarni.
Yeah, that's right. Evan Giltaire now, from the back of the grid, is now up into 19th position in this race. So still quite far away from the points, but definitely making progress in this race. And there's still 12 minutes plus 1 lap to go.
Yes, still. We have the time remaining, with Van Amersfoort really getting tight. Yamakoshi, I think it's going to be really interesting to see how he does approach this. He's got a chance to fight for the win. I'm looking forward to seeing how this one's going to play out. As we mentioned, can be a bit of an aggressive driver when it comes to his racing, but sometimes a bit of aggression is needed, especially at this level when everyone else is getting their elbows out quite a bit. So if he wants to beat his teammate to the win, then he'll absolutely need to go on the attack. Michael Beloff, talking about going on the attack, he's going to try and get past Kulkarni. Let's see whether he can do it. As we get down to the braking zone, Beloff sends it around the outside. Kulkarni holds onto the position, runs deep into the corner. Beloff will try and get the power down, and it's going to be wheel to wheel. Kulkarni will show him the curb, and we're going to see Beloff having to now regroup and go again as we come out of the final corner, and he's going to get another opportunity down the start-finish straight. Let's see whether he can complete the move around a part of the circuit, which is the best opportunity to make some overtakes. Kulkarni, does he go defensive? He moved a little bit. Belov, though, gets to the inside anyway, and they're going to be wheel to wheel. Does Belov pick his braking spot? It looks like he's got that position for keeps this time around, and Belov moves up to 21st.
Yeah, that was good defending from Kulkarni into the turn 11-12 chicane, but he did a bit of a late move on the start-finish straight there, but Michael Beloff very much ready for it, as we see a replay of him locking up. This was the defense I was talking about from Kulkarni. I honestly thought Beloff could go right round the outside there, but Kulkarni squeezing him off, which considering his lack of experience relative to Beloff is quite impressive. But Beloff now up into 21st ahead of Kulkarni.
So at the moment, these cars getting stuck and not being able to make any overtakes, which of course we do hope that with the new car coming in next year, we are going to be able to see overtaking made a little bit more easy as well. GB3, even with the DRS, which there's still question marks on whether that's helped or not in terms of the category, that was still struggling to make some overtakes as well. So FRECA will hope to come up with something where the drivers can make some overtakes around this venue. As we mentioned, GB3 have already run their race around this circuit, and that was their second round of the season, and they held their third round last time out at Spa as well. And a Spa round which was quite exciting and had quite a bit of action, including, as we mentioned, as we already talked about in yesterday's broadcast, the last to first coming from Freddie Slater. So the circuit, damp at the moment, but it is really difficult to overtake, meaning even if you've got the pace of Freddie Slater, you're having to sit in behind, you're having to wait and wait for those opportunities. So deploying the push to pass at the right time will be critical, and that could be the way that we do get a change between the Van Amersfoorts.
Yeah, that's right. Of course, you can use it just as much for defense as for attack. So it rather depends on how trigger happy you get with it. You can be a bit savvy and trying to make the driver in front use it when you don't, and therefore you have more than your opponent. But of course, we don't have any data to suggest who's using it and who isn't, like we have had with Motorsport Series in the past. Hopefully, that gets fixed for maybe next year we can see what the number is of the number of times people have used it. I mean,
yeah, kind of like what IndyCar have with their timings. We're able to tell the push to pass and how much they have as well, and it's usually a question mark. It's usually a question mark of whether anyone does have any. You'd assume that people do leave it to the end, but you sometimes may get some being used to catch your rivals out nice and early on in the race. That's Giltert, and that is Evan Giltert getting up the inside, and he is now ahead of Ruiheng Ye. I think he's just got past as well.
It's oh yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, getting past Enzo Ye in the other RPM. So now he's past 2 RPMs, making it up into 17th place. His next target is the Prema of Jack Beaton, who's not having a particularly good race at the moment. He's stuck behind Ricky Liu up front. So yeah, Giltert making his way up the field, but running out of time just a little bit before he can make it to the points.
Yeah, Jack Beaton, a driver who, of course, we are still yet to see, I'd say, quite a lot from. And I think when we do get something coming from Jack Beaton, it'll be quite interesting. But yeah, I'm hoping that he is able to improve in the next few races, because he's not been able to fully match and get up to his full potential, which he'll be hoping to change in the coming rounds of this championship. So looking forward to seeing what we're going to get over there. It's his 0.6 of a second across the line. Yamakoshi's been running closely, but it is Yamakoshi. I would not be surprised if we do see a dive or an attempted move thrown very, very shortly once he can get close enough. I think he'll be, I think knowing Yamakoshi, I think he'd be very disappointed if he just has the entire race where he just ends up sitting behind his teammate.
Yeah, quite probably. There's the gaps between all the cars at the front is somewhere around half a second, which is it's just outside the area you want to be in terms of whether or not you can stick a move up the inside on the brakes. So it's just a little bit outside that range. So yeah, and I mean it's hard to set up a possible move at this track anyway, with just the narrowness and the roller coaster like mentality of the track. So yeah, not easy for the drivers out there. So and of course with the aforementioned problems with the dirty air these cars produce, it's very much not easy.
Yeah, not easy at all. Just looking at the gaps that we're getting recorded at the end of the first sector, Slater looked to have been running very closely to Yamakoshi, so it'll be interesting to see whether that is still the case. Still 5 minutes to go on the clock, plus 1 lap as well. Now we're going to see Evan Giltert go on the attack of Jack Beaton, and yes, Slater is still running very, very closely to the back of Yamakoshi, so let's see whether Slater can now give it his all in these final stages to try and go on the attack. That'll be one Prema trying to attack. We've got one trying to defend of Jack Beaton, as we mentioned. As Evan Giltert tries to make his recovery drive, he'll be very disappointed with that one. Jack Beaton all out of shape, arriving down to Tarzan corner. He's still going to maintain the position, but it's a good thing that he was able to get that one slowed down.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Jack Beaton really not happy with the performance of that Van Amersfoort for whatever reason. Just not able to get it to his liking. He's normally sort of in and around the lower area of the points, but yeah, just not able to get on top of the car this weekend. Struggling for grip, and I'm sure it's only a matter of time before Giltert finds a way past.
Yep, I can imagine that will come very, very shortly. So we're taking a look. Slater over the last 3 laps has been quicker on 2 of those. So he is on the attack and he's pushing on hard, which is absolutely what we love to see, as he tries to give us an overtake in this race at the front of the field. But what he has to worry about is also he is at risk of losing this podium because he's got Deligny directly in behind as well. So we have quite a lot to keep an eye on, but as it stands, we're heading to a historic win for Van Amersfoort. And not only a historic win, but also a 1-2 as well in their 50th year. that they are celebrating this year. Could they just hold on all the way to the end? Bit of a lock-up for Claro heading down to Tarzan corner. We're at this phase of the race where everyone is so close together. There cannot be any mistakes and there cannot be any moments in this contest, because if there is any lock-ups, if there is any mistakes, then you are vulnerable to drivers behind.
Yeah, that's right. The owner of the Van Amersfoort Racing Company, Frits Van Amersfoort. I don't know if he's here this weekend, but if he's not, he'll be dancing in his office with the result here today. Just under 3 minutes still to go, plus one lap in this race, and it doesn't look, as close as they all are together, it doesn't really look like anyone's that close to making a move. De Paulo in 7th has really fallen off the back of the 6 cars in front of him, so for whatever reason he's not able to get on top of this track either. So yeah, he'll be losing the lead of the championship to Slater as things stand at the moment.
I think a race that will definitely go down so far as our most quietest one of the season, and it will of course have behind the season opener, and then the second race of the Misano weekend was absolutely wild. Both races at Spa were understandably also wild as well. So think so far, of course, with the season opener, we still had some great overtaking and some great battling, including a bit of a very interesting start as well, which saw Slater make contact and find himself spinning round along with Jin Nakamura. So a very interesting race to start the season still. So I think this might, I think so far, Wes, I think it's fair to say this is going to get the award of being the most quietest race of the season, as they made their way through into turn 1, as we take a look at a replay of Claro locking up.
Yeah, a bit of a lock up there. Claro tyres just starting to go off just a little bit. He should still have it in hand. If anybody's a bit concerned about the lack of overtaking in this race, as Claro locks up again, it's okay, because we're going to Hungary next, so it'll be much better there, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be very interesting when we get to Budapest as well. But we've still got some interesting rounds coming up as they arrive down to the braking zone. And this is going to now see the field make their way through onto what will be the penultimate lap. And then the next time they come around will be the final lap. And this is the moment where I'm starting to think, is there anything Yamakoshi still has? Claro having lockups, having plenty of moments. If Yamakoshi has something to give, he has to give it now, and he'll have to do it in the final 2 laps. He's really closing in, down towards Tarzan corner. Can Yamakoshi have a look? He is darting over the back of his teammate. He's forcing another lockup from his teammate. Van Amersfoort on their way to a historic victory, but which driver will it be, or will it even be them? Because if it all goes a bit wild near the end of this one, it could go a little bit dramatic. Slater will be waiting for it, and I mean, we're on the penultimate lap of this one, but the tension is starting to rise as the gap closes in.
Yeah, unlike Formula 1, there's absolutely no team orders here. It's every man for himself as we go on to this final lap. Just a couple of miles left. Slater also looking at the back of Yamakoshi, who Claro seems to have so far seen off the challenge of his Japanese teammate. They're just about to go through turn 10 now. They're going through that at the moment. So about halfway through this final lap. It's very, very close. Slater just not able to have a look around. So yeah, seems like at the moment, unless something happens, it'll be a Van Amersfoort 1-2. As we have one last lockup, I think, for Claro as we come through turns 13 and 14.
We're about to go on to the final lap of the race. Does Yamakoshi have any push to pass to give to try and beat his teammate in this race? We're out of the final corner. We are going down the start-finish straight. We're on to the last lap in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. Yamakoshi will get close. Claro has to pick his braking spot into the first turn, which he has done so. But now, if Yamakoshi is to find a way by, it will need to be something magical somewhere else in the lap. He also has to worry about Freddie Singh Slater in behind. Remember, this is the home race for Van Amersfoort, and they are on their way to a historic victory as it stands in their 50th year, and they will need to make sure that they can bring this one home all the way to the end. Slater is giving it his all. He is really closing in on our top two, but this is about to be a very extraordinary victory. Claro and Yamakoshi at the front of the field. And we had, of course, Pedro Claro, who took pole positions for both races this weekend. They were talking about and discussing how it could possibly be a historic weekend for Van Amersfoort in their 50th year. If they could find themselves to the top step, it would have been their first since 2023, when Cas Havercourt took them to the top step around this circuit. That is exactly going to be the case, though, as we make our way to the end of this lap. Claro leading Yamakoshi. They got the start that they needed, and oh no, and that is going to be a big crash. That is going to be a big crash at the end of this race, and we are really going to hope and pray that that driver is okay, who has had a moment, and it is going to be Giovanni Maschio. But at the front of the field, it will be a historic victory for Van Amersfoort Racing. Pedro Claro wins, and he beats home his teammate Yamakoshi. And in the 50th year for Van Amersfoort, they are heading to the top step. A big moment for them, and they have done it for the first time since 2023 around this circuit. And it's Yamakoshi in second, Freddie Slater is in third, and Van Amersfoort go wheel to wheel in celebration. But a big moment at the end with Giovanni Maschio. We will hope that he's okay. Dramatic stuff all the way to the end, and it sees Pedro Claro as the winner.
Yeah, big scary crash there from the as ever unfortunate Giovanni Maschio. He'll want to forget this event as quickly as he can. But yeah, Pedro Claro putting right the errors from yesterday, which caused him to lose the lead off the start yesterday. He's fixed that now, and he is a winner in Formula Regional. The former champion of Brazilian F4 a couple of years ago is now well and truly on his way to moving up into F3, hopefully next year for him. And yeah, Pedro Claro in the Van Amersfoort, they'll be overjoyed as well, that team, having a 1-2, something every team wants to have. But our thoughts now go, of course, to Giovanni Maschio, who's we hope has his car has now been righted, and the medical teams will be heading to him if they haven't already got there. It was very close right at the end there. Yamakoshi pushed him all the way to the end, as we expected him to, and the Van Amersfoort team, as I said, overjoyed about that.
Yeah. One, of course, we'll quickly confirm you through our results, but it's that case of if there was one more lap for Yamakoshi, if we did not have that stall on the grid for Gilter. But it's Claro the winner, Yamakoshi in second, a historic win for them, a 1-2 as well. Freddie Slater in third, then it's Deligny in fourth, Gin Nakamura in fifth, Ashke Boras in sixth, then it's Di Paolo and Dion Gauda, and then we have Taja Kato. Nikita Bedrin rounding out the top 10, he finally gets the result that he wanted. Pajot in 11th, then it's Kanatali, Rashid Al-Taheri, Biran Bakhti, Liu, Gilter recovered very well from the pit lane all the way up to 16th position. Jack Beaton in 17th, and then it's Rui Hengye, and then we have Al Masheri in 19th, Michael Belov in 20th, then it's Kulkani, Borna, Vasialo, and Dorian Pan in 20th, 24th. We hope and pray that Giovanni Maschio is all okay after that crash, and another retirement from the race earlier on due to a technical issue was Tim Gayhards. So, interesting stuff, the timings and everything up there, of course, for the next thing that's on, that is coming up now, but we'll stay for the podiums, and we've just received confirmation that Giovanni Maschio is okay after that incident, and that is exactly the news that we wanted to hear, Wes.
Yeah, that is great to hear. We still don't know the nature of his accident at the moment, but I'd be very surprised if there wasn't another car involved somehow. Usually there is when a car ends up upside down, but there was a wheel, and there is Giovanni Maschio on screen right now walking away, and that is absolutely amazing to see. He's heading towards the ambulance, and he'll be taken down to the medical center for precautionary checkups. But yeah, one of his wheels flew straight over the barrier into the banked earth there. Luckily, there's no spectators or marshals over that area. But yeah, very, very scary accident indeed.
Yeah, so Van Amersfoort congratulating each other. They deserve it. They finally got that winning moment, as we mentioned, for the first time since this race in 2023, when Cas Havercourt took them to that win. And Cas Havercourt is, of course, here this weekend. I'm sure he will be definitely within the celebrations in a few moments. He is here racing the Porsches as well. And we're all getting ready, of course, for that big DTM event that is set to take place, the final on-track action as well. The main event that we're supporting this weekend. And look, if you are synced up with us, what it means to Van Amersfoort. They've finally done the job. And that is definitely something they'll add to their highlights reel in their 50th year of existence. And they have got a 1-2 in the FRECA category with Yamakoshi. And the man leading the way, Pedro Claro. The man not leading the way today, Freddie Slater, he finished in 3rd position, did the British driver, and Yamakoshi in 2nd place, doing very, very well indeed. And I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what he has to come and what else he can deliver for us across this season. So, we are going to see whether we're going to get a replay, as we now know that Giovanni Maschio is okay in terms of that incident. It's great to see that he is up and walking. That is, I think, the important thing. But let's hope he didn't flip too many times. And let's hope he is all okay in terms of once he has those checks and doesn't have any minor injuries here and there. And hopefully he is able to be back with us in the next round.
Yeah, that's right. Giovanni Maschio, he'll, as I said, want to forget this weekend because he's had nothing but problems the entire time as... The top 3 make their way up to the podium now, with Freddie Slater 3rd, Hiyu Yamakoshi in 2nd, and Pedro Claro taking the win. Yamakoshi in particular, although he wasn't able to find a way past his teammate, I definitely think he will go very far up the feeder series ladder. Over the course of his career. He's a very, very good all-round driver, and he's just been unfortunate enough to be in the same sort of age group as Freddie Slater, so maybe not always getting the results he really deserves, but yeah, definitely a very, very good driver is Yamakoshi.
We're going to get all 3 Van Amersfoort drivers on the podium, because Dion Gada will be heading up there as well in a few moments as our rookie winner. He'll be getting that title most likely every single round, unless when he retires. So yeah, Dion Gada absolutely loving life. A free trip to the podium every time around. You're going to get a team member up there. It's going to be a Van Amersfoort podium with Slater just basically put in the middle as well. But Freddie Slater, a man who is not shy to the podium at all. He's someone who's always up there, along with Dion Gauda, and he'll be very delighted with that one. Will Dion Gauda, and we're going to be getting the trophies provided and given to our drivers on the podium, and then we'll get ready for the Brazilian national anthem. First of all, we get the trophy heading Freddie Slater's way, the driver who finished in 3rd position, and that will still be one that he'll want to savour. That's a good, consistent result, and that's exactly what you need on your way to the title, of course, Wes.
Yeah, absolutely. Claro was he wasn't very far up in the championship going into this race. Well, he was 5th, so yeah, with the 2nd place, as I said, making up for the disappointment of Spa, where he didn't get any points, unfortunately. So yeah, and with this win, there was a 23-point gap to the car in front, who was Enzo Deligny in 4th. So that this will very much eat into that gap, but he will most likely still be in 5th position in the championship.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely could be. And it's time for the national anthem. Pedro Claro's Brazilian national anthem.
Well done to Pedro Clero. That will conclude proceedings for round 3 of the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. Good to see Giovanni Maschio walked away from that incident on the final lap. We hope he's back at the next round. And that next round will be round 4 at Hungary on the 5th and 6th of July. But now we will leave you with these celebrations. Van Amersfoort Racing are winners once again. And they have their second 1-2 finish in the championship. And our new championship leader there in red and white is Freddie Slater as we go into round 4.
Thank you very much, Chris McCarthy, as well. Thank you very much to him. And he'll be someone who'll be delighted to be back covering FRECA for a round, but it's the first time, I believe, where we've heard the Brazilian national anthem in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine as well. So quite interesting indeed. So we've got the ADAC GT Masters that is coming on. That's the thing that's available on screen right now for you, as myself and Wes will just conclude. Brilliant action, brilliant racing in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. I think it is fair to say we've had a great day of action, and it's still been a very interesting race, even if it was slightly dull at a few times. But as Chris McCarthy mentioned, the main thing, Wes, is that Giovanni Maschio is okay after that incident.
Yeah, definitely. He'll want to dust himself down and get himself ready for Hungary in a month's time. Drivers tend to get into scrapes like this every so often, and they take a couple of days off just to rest and recuperate, and then before you know it, they're back alongside their physio in the gym, getting ready for next time out. So I don't expect this to affect Maschio that much.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I'd love to get your final thoughts then, Wes, before we go off air. It's been another brilliant round of FRECA, and now our eyes will turn into the next round now.
Yeah, that's right. It's a little bit disappointing not to see more overtaking at this event, but I mean, we sort of expected it going in. Of course, we've been here with GB3, where they had a similar problem. And so we're waiting to see next year when the new FRECA car comes out, whether or not some of the issues of this car will be fixed.
Yep, absolutely. We are going to look forward to next year, but for now we're going to look forward to next round. And in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine, we will see you there. Thank you very much for joining us across this round, and our eyes will turn over to Budapest. We'll see you then. Goodbye.